Everyone. I'm bored as hell, and I need to go to the bank soon. I know, I'm stupid. I should be doing my adult things before I do this. But I decided that because I have TFK Exhale, and I have listened to the entirety of the album, I'm going to do a review of it. I'm going to be honest, I've only been into Thousand Foot Crutch for about 4 years now. It was right after The End Is Where We Begin came out. Is when I really started to get into them, and I started to kind of lean off of them when Inhale came out, only because I took a listen to a couple of the singles they put out, Born This Way and Untraveled Road, and while I liked them, I was kind of like, they're starting to kind of slip away from what what I had known them as, with The End Is Where We Begin, which is kind of the more aggressive kind of rap rock theme. Forgive me, by the way, I am a little under the weather. But I bought the album anyway, and I took a listen to the entirety of the album, and I didn't like it at first, just because I was still more of the hardcore kind of like, hardcore metal or die kind of person. But I've started to get softer, and that's when I really started to start liking the album more. And then we get to Exhale, which was the more aggressive side of the Inhale-Exhale companionship. And when I first listened to Born Again, when they put it out back in December of 2015, I said, oh, this is going to be a great record, because it felt like they were actually getting back there. And as the songs kept coming out, they kept getting better and better and better as we went through Incomplete, and then the lead single, Running with Giants, and then Give Up the Ghost. It just kept getting better and better and more heavier in terms of either the melody or the actual just song itself was heavy, and I was really digging it. And so now the album is out, all 12, right? Yeah, there's 12, all 12 tracks are out, and I've listened to all of them, and to me it feels like a return to form, almost, because if you've seen, for those of us who have been a Thousand Foot Crutch fan a little bit longer and know their work more, I've actually delved into their older material because I just wanted to hear more of their music instead of just the new stuff. And I've taken a notice to all of their albums kind of end on a soft note. Like The End Is Where We Begin with So Far Gone, and then Glow on Inhale, which, I mean, that whole album, the last 4 songs are really kind of soft songs, so I wouldn't say it ended on a soft note, because it already had kind of started and it just kind of rolled with it. But this album really, it just comes out of the gate swinging, and it starts with, Running with Giants is the first track on the album. And then, it just kind of goes down the line of just hardcore, really good Christian rock, and a harder version of Christian rock. I'd almost call it Christian metal, kind of like Skillet. But it definitely has, these songs do have their softer, moments, give or take. They're still a good rock song. It's just they're a little bit softer than the rest of them. One example would be A Different Kind of Dynamite, which, funny enough, is actually my 6-year-old brother's favorite song ever, and I actually already have a video up of him and I singing it. And it's a really good tune. I like it. It kind of shows Trevor's vocals can still hit the notes he was hitting on Inhale now, but it's kind of it still kind of has that softer vibe to it, in essence, while still kind of keeping the album moving in terms of, its pace and its, I guess, level of edginess, for lack of a better term. I can't think right now. It is hot, it is humid, and I'm doing this, so forgive me if this is horrible. One of my personal favorites is track number 8, Adrenaline. And let me just say, first off, that it definitely is one of the heavier songs on the album. But my God, he can rap fast. I never knew he could go that fast. So unless he excuse me, unless he did it at a slower pace and then they just like edited it that fast. Good Lord, Trevor, what have you been hiding from us all these years? Um, and it's kind of like it just kind of gets you going, you know. I mean, that's usually when I start jamming in the morning. That's usually the first one I Jesus, I cannot talk. That's usually the first one I turn on in the morning because it's such a good tune. And then whatever else comes on during the day, that's awesome. But that's usually the one that starts it. Let's see, another one. Oh yeah, there you go. Can't Stop This was another one that I kind of liked and kind of stood out to me, only because it's it's more of a return to form in terms of their older works like Phenomenon and The Art of Breaking, because it felt more like it belonged on those records than it did on Exhale now. Because it has the Rage Against the Machine vibe, at least to me. Because throughout the song, you'll hear a lot of him just kind of spitting words, and then a lot of the time it's you know. So it's definitely got that vibe to it, and I like that because that's, I mean, especially now because they're at the point in their career, they've been going 20 years, and they're still making songs that they made or sounded like they made them and wrote them way back when on like Set It Off or Phenomenon, but they're putting them out now. It sounds like that, and that's something that not a lot of bands nowadays do. They've tended to evolve. Perfect example is Fall Out Boy. You listen to their old stuff and it's really good pop punk and punk rock, quote unquote. But now you listen to them and it's like you have songs like Centuries and Uma Thurman and you're like, what am I watching? It's a lot of bands tend to not do that anymore because they've evolved. TFK has definitely evolved, but they keep their influences from when they were younger. Now, that's what really gets me about these guys and other bands like them. And then, let's see, another good standout song that I think a lot of people would enjoy is Honest. Honest is one of those songs, it's one of their acoustic, and it closes out the album. I really like it only because it really has a good Christian message behind it, while at the same time giving the kind of fun acoustic jam that we all want to hear from TFK on a record. And as I was listening to the record and we got to track 11 and I still hadn't heard an acoustic, I honestly, I didn't expect, no pun intended, honestly, I didn't expect to hear one. But when I heard Honest, and I was just kind of blown away. I was like, whoa, this is amazing. And I'm going to be honest, a friend of mine and one of my teachers here at Avon before I graduated, she listens to Thousand Foot Crutch, and when I was telling her about Honest, I'm going to be honest, I thought it was a lot better than So Far Gone in terms of just, the vibe I get from it. And I told her that, and she's like, oh, really? Because she really loves that song. She's like, all right, I'll definitely check that song out then. And, she really likes it too. I honestly think that if you're a fan of TFK's soft work, you're going to love this song. Let's see. And then just another one that I felt was really kind of cool and kind of felt in place with the rest of the record was The River. In terms of the lyrics, I swear to God, I remember back in 5th grade we did a song that was exactly like that on with the music teacher on the piano. But I don't remember it. But I love this song regardless of whether or not it's a cover or not. It is a great tune, and it's very true to form. And when I first heard it, I kind of felt like it was like a machine, because the guitars chug the exact same sound that you hear in Like a Machine. And I was like, hey, this is pretty good. It's pretty good. And then everything else comes in after the first guitar vocal line, and I was like, oh, whoa, God, yes, this is going to be good. So those are a few of my personal favorite standouts. So overall, I'm going to give the album a 9.5 out of 10, just because there were a couple of elements on a few songs that were kind of lackluster. And for me also, when it comes to listening to an album, I like to be able to like feel the quality. I love to hear a good message, but above all, I want to be able to see the band recreate it live. And this is the one album I don't think many, if any, songs will be played live other than Running with Giants, because a lot of the songs on the album have a solo in it with a rhythm guitar playing in the background. So that means they're either going to have to bring in another touring guitarist or have a track with a rhythm guitar playing and have the lead guitar playing. And I honestly hate when bands play to tracks because it just kind of takes away from the live performance. If you play to a track, screw it, I'll stay home. Bye. Save my money. But this is that one album for them that I don't think many of the songs will be good live because they'll probably not take the time to hire another guitar player, and they'll just play to a track, and I don't want to hear that. Or what they might do is cut that rhythm guitar part out entirely and just have the bass play the rhythm, which, it's okay to do that. I don't mind it, because you're playing the song completely, in essence. You're not really cutting anything out, but you're cutting out a rhythm guitar, which really kind of takes away from the energy of the song, because a lot of the songs on here that have a solo, that's kind of what keeps the vibe going. So that's the one detractor from the album for me. Everything else is just this whole album is impressive, and I've taken a listen to most of their other albums in their entirety, and I'm going to say this is probably one of their better catalog, better in their catalog. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope this review helps you. But I'm going to go do my adult stuff now, so I'm really getting behind because it's 1:45 and I got to work in 4 hours, so, or no, not 4 hours, 3 hours. God, I'm so out of it today, Jesus. Alright, I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.